Hi everyone and welcome to a video where I will be discussing if Olofmeister is the problem with faze clan. Wait, what? He's been kicked off faze clan? Oh, medical leave. Oh, alright, okay. Sorry guys. This video is basically redundant now. Doesn't matter at all. I was making this before the announcement came through, so I'm just a sucker, aren't I? But I will try and do it anyway. I've already made it anyway. I don't know why I'm saying I'll try. Basically, I watched two demos of Olofmeister, both Mirage, both against G2, across the road to Rio. I basically wanted to try and understand if he's really playing as badly as people say. Of course, 2 games, not a massive sample size, but I still feel like I got a decent idea of basically why his stats were so bad and basically what his place within the faze team was. So, let's jump right into the server then with the first game. This was the one that won 16, not 16, I think it was 22 to 19 against G2 in the first week of the road to Rio. Okay guys, then this is how we're going to run this. Is I've got the demo UI open, I'll hover it over Olofmeister and we'll just watch the game. I've watched through this before and I've made lots of notes. We're just going to skip to the timestamps that I have written down in my notes so that we're not obviously going to watch all 1 hour and 37 minutes. I've already done that before. So let's get started then. Should probably start off by putting it on Olofmeister. Player number 0. Okay then. First timestamp. We're going to ignore the pistol round. He does a decent job on the pistol. Decent enough, doesn't really do too much. Tries his best. Okay. Coming up on our first timestamp. It's going to be 4 minutes, and 55 seconds. It's coming up right about now. And so, and this is the round where he buys an AK, but then he drops it to Rain. I believe it was Rain. Yep, Rain. And then he buys a UMP for himself. This shows that really he's sort of the weaker man on the team. I'm sure everyone can understand that. But he is playing as if he's the weaker man. He's taking the weapons as if he's the weaker man. He's not really got an ego about him. It's not like he's getting a lot of the team's resources and sort of wasting them. He is just playing as if he is the weaker player. He's also going to be playing behind Brokey here. He always is the second man in on these pushes. This is something we'll see throughout the video clip, and it's borne out here. He is playing behind Brokey, just casually lurking B apps by himself. This is something you see quite a lot. He does lurk B apps. But we'll see basically how he does it and some sort of things that happen in relation to it that I feel mean that he's given less opportunities to do a really good job. But in this round here, he does keep G2 on the B site with his sound cues, his flashes, and he basically wins his team around here. Not by anything he does in terms of kills, but just by how he supports his team and his positioning here. Brokey finding that kill on Hunter basically indicate to the faze clan boys they should be making their way to the A-bomb site, which they will do, and they will win the round, okay? We'll skip on ahead then to the very next round. It's going to be round number 4. faze cleans it so far. He's as you can see, Olofmeister. Again, Brokey is actually upgraded to an AWP, and so Olofmeister is going to switch to the Mach 10. He is sort of like the bin of the team. He just takes whatever he's given, really. And this round really illustrates how Olof often plays by himself, away from the main push being the lurker. It's also worth pointing out here, Cold's Air is actually playing the apartments here, not Olofmeister. Olof is going to be playing underpass, and this is a trend we see quite a lot. Olofmeister is the B player, but quite often Olofmeister, and in one round in fact Nico does displace him. And Olofmeister, across both the games I watched, he plays underpass, let's say about a good 50% of the time on defaults. But he didn't find a single kill there, and this round is Cold gets killed in apartments, so Olof's sort of forced to move over here a little bit. G2 getting aggressive, gets them the man advantage into this round. And this sort of shapes up the round to go towards G2. Skip forward again. They do just about win that G2, 2 men surviving. Let's move on then to the 5th round. This round we're going to be showing an effective apartments play. So Olof again playing the apartments, passively waiting, just clearing it out, clearing under. He's joined with teammate. They're trying to take window control. So Olof this round, he notices Hunter kills Nico, so they're a man down. So that means they need some sort of play here. The real options they have is Zara can make one towards ramp, or Olof could try and make a play here towards mid, or maybe somewhere else. Does play window. So this isn't an ops play. I got the numbers mixed up, but you see there, it's a really good lurk from him, but he just can't connect the spray onto jacks. And that's something that was happened about 3 or 4 times from what I was watching him. He's got really good lurks sometimes, but at the end he just doesn't find the shots, and that's really not a good thing. Maybe he lost confidence in himself. Maybe the health problems played into that a little bit. Maybe that's why he needs a break. He's getting frustrated more easily. I'd be frustrated if I was getting into good positions. He's a very smart player. We all know this, but he's not being able to utilize his intelligence to get lots of frags. Part of that comes from the team he's in. FaZe Clan, obviously, he is the worst player on FaZe Clan in a sense. Rain is there with him, but the other 3 are well above him. So he's not getting any team resources. He's not got any IGL to really put him into good supportive positions. But basically, he's not being catered to within this team. Okay, let's move on a little bit. I just want to mention quickly while we're talking that he's nearly always the second man traveling with a partner, and he's trying to play refrag most of the time. But he's been doing well on entries from what I've been seeing, and he's not particularly good at refragging, so maybe it would be better if he went in first, and then he got maybe a Cold Zera or a Nico to come in after him and try and play trades, instead of him going second every time, because he's not doing a very good job at coming second. Whereas this round though, he takes B successfully for his team. I forgot to mark that one down, but we'll move on to the next round anyway, to that back where my notes are, around the 15-minute mark. Okay, round 8. So FaZe are going to be slowly picked off around the map in this round, and they're poor at diagnosing where Kenny S's op is. Kenny, of course, famous opera on G2. He's the only man with a rifle in this round. He's the main thorn in their side. The only thing really preventing FaZe from taking the 7-1 made difficult. Kenny doesn't have an op. They don't lose this round. So they're going to be trying to play mid here. So Hunter, the close man up, should be found. He is by Brokey. Olofmeister would have found that kill. Brokey didn't. But now FaZe in a 4v4. This is where they start to get slowly picked off, and this gives G2, they're very slow at taking mid, so this gives G2 plenty of time to adapt their plays towards A and B, and he doesn't really do much towards the B site. He's just sort of sitting back passively, he doesn't really do much, whereas G2 just have all the time in the world to sort out their round. So I think Olof, if he played a bit more aggressively here at mid, he would have had better results for him. And see, Amanek managed to push from behind because of their slowness, and then they're left 2 versus 4. Very unlikely they win that, and they don't. Okay, so this is round number 9. G2 starting to get back into a tiny bit, 2 rounds for them now. And this is a round where Olofmeister single-handedly takes B, so you see he's getting aggressive here. There's only one man on B, that's Amanek with the op. I remember this game when it was being cast, a lot of times people were mentioning Amanek not being very good for G2, and this round sort of bears that out. So Olaf does pick him off and then aggressively manages to take control of the B site. And this is where the round sort of won by FaZe Clan, just purely off Olofmeister's play here. Very good round from them. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's move on to a round where Olof had a great deal of impact, in fact. This was a round where he did an A flank. It's probably the most impactful round of the whole game for him, perhaps even. There we go then. So as you can see, everyone from FaZe Clan is on A, except for Olof, who's sitting holding behind. Holding mid and B at the same time. Good position, one that I quite like myself. Of course, I'm nowhere near as good as him, so as you can see, he picks up the first kill on the Amanek. But look at how slow and indecisive he is. He doesn't know what he's doing here. Just throwing the AK out of the way, which is the wrong call, as we can see. I suppose he maybe thinks it's an eco, but looking at the G2 buy, it's definitely not an eco. But as you can see here, FaZe Clan aren't holding the site. The bomb is not planted for connector yet. Olof is so slow to get going. Whereas G2, you know, they're all there. If they'd have pushed earlier, this would have been a free round. They're very lucky that Jax gets killed in the plant here as Olaf comes in behind and picks up actually 3 kills. Very good in the moment from Olaf. But was he there in the right time? Should he have been there quicker? I believe so. Let's move on to talk a little bit about his underpass play. Very unimpactful and does very little for the team. He's just there for the sake of not leaving underpass open, I feel. I feel like there's very little reason for him to be there. He's not finding really any openings. He's not really taking that much map control either for FaZe. He's just retaining what they have. It's worth pointing out as well that he's being replaced in BS by coldzera quite often. Perhaps a bit of team politics at play there. This round is one where he dies pretty quickly to Kenny S in underpass. So his record in underpass is 0 kills throughout the demos I've watched, and he's died quite a few times as well. Now we're going to take a big jump forward, 8 minutes. It's G2 claim a couple of rounds. I think FaZe lose this one, get another buy round. He goes underpass, does very little, they lose the round, and then they're in an eco, so takes us a few rounds where we got a good bit of Olofmeister action. This is why I took 3 days making this video, and in that time he's left FaZe, so brilliant. It's another underpass round from Olaf. As you can see, it's just slowly taking control. Doesn't really do anything, gets mollied off from window, forced back. That is underpass eventually after getting peeked by Nexa. And the round goes on. FaZe actually might win this one. No, yeah they do. Huh. Memory doesn't serve. Okay, so another round, this time they go B. Olaf third in the pack. Still not got pardon me, still not got back to where my notes are. Dies to Amanek, 50-50, not too bad. And a hold from G2 that is successful, Brokey picking up the final kill. This was a Brokey game. If you look, I'm just going to pause briefly, look at the score. 17-4, Brokey out of this world this game. He played excellent. I think he's been a really good player for FaZe Club. Apologies. I think he's been a really good player for FaZe Clan. A very good pickup for the team. In this game, coldzera, as you can see, not really showing up, and I think that's probably why Olofmeister found himself getting replaced so often in the B apartments. This round he's going to be going mid. Doesn't really do that much. He's going to be playing entry this round, which I kind of like. Does get smoked off. Ends up not playing entry, gets replaced by his teammates on the entry. They go B and they win the round, I believe. The GT setup isn't very good. Yep. Solid save from last 2 players, I assume. Oh no, there's pistols, so I might go for it. Okay, get to the last round and a half, and the last round I have anything to say about Olofmeister about, related to. So this is going to be a round where they push towards B. Oh no, sorry. This is a round where he does lurking. But this is a round I feel Olofmeister does a bad job on the lurk. He's going to be making his way up connector. Does get smoked off. I really think he probably should have tried to beat that smoke. But he does walk out of it eventually, but I think he should have gotten aggro and tried to play there. They are a man down, Nico dying. I think Olaf could have played a little bit more aggro. Past that smoke, obviously not making noise. But his teammate Molly's sandwich here. And he doesn't check his teammate's sandwich Molly. Because Jax was playing sandwich and is forced out of sandwich due to Olaf's Molly, due to the Molly of his teammate Ramp. Olaf doesn't check that. Does check it eventually, allowing him to kill Jax, but if he found the kill on Jax earlier, he would have been able to adjust better to Kenny S's position, which is what got him killed. So a round where he could have been a little bit better. And again, his spray onto Jax, sort of poor, and that's really the story of his lurks. The spraying has not been very good. It's been bad. It was actually worse this game than I felt in the next game, which is the game that was going worst. I feel in this game, he did get more opportunities to lurk. Okay, let's finish this half with my overall thoughts. I thought Olaf was very often in positions of little impact towards underpassing the B apartments. He played very passive B apartments. I suppose because his team was winning, that's fine. But I think he could have gotten a bit more aggressive and he could have been a lot more impactful. Because GC never really played apartments, they just played B site. If he'd have gotten aggro, he might have been able to find a few things. But he rarely did. He was always towards the back of the executes. I think he would have been a lot more effective on the entry, personally. And he found zero kills from underground. That's something that will be borne out through the whole of these 2 demos, as well as the overtime from this one. And he needs to work on his effectiveness from there, definitely. I know he's taking a break now. Maybe he will, maybe he won't come back. Maybe, probably not to faze, I would doubt. And then lastly, I would say his overall score from half, 12-7, was quite padded by eco frags. He did get that one round where he got a 4k and 3k on the lark, which I said I've already made my thoughts clear on, but it was decent 4k for him. So in the end, his halftime score was 12-7. Let's get into the pistol round then. Gotta wait for the pause. So Olaf on B as the B anchor most of the times, except when he isn't. That seems to be the thing with Olaf. He plays B except when he doesn't. Code Zero places him sometimes in B apps as a T and sometimes as a CT. Olaf isn't really respected in terms of positions, or I'm willing to guess that maybe it's actually him deciding that he doesn't want to play a certain spot anymore. I don't really know. So this is going to be a good pistol round from him though. And he should secure his team the round here. G2 are going to be doing a B split. This is very smart play from Olaf what he does here. Okay, so G2 have made their way up short. He throws the smoke down to his right. This allows him to isolate the two apartments players. Picks up a nice first shot on the Nexa, but then, a bit more laboured shooting. Eventually finds Amanek. Code Zero picks up the final one. Good round from faze, good round from Olaf. Probably won his team the round there. Him and Gold, with all the kills between them, the two B players, very solid holds from them. Okay, let's continue on a little bit. It's worth pointing out in the context of this game, the score of this half is 11-4 in favour of G2. G2 really got back into this game based off this half. It was poor from faze generally. But as we'll get into, that's not really Olaf's fault. If you're looking at the B setup here, Olaf is totally on his own. This round it doesn't matter that he's on his own, but it is worth pointing out that maybe he is the worst player on faze, arguably. Rain played worse this game, and Rain arguably is a worse player at the moment, but Olaf is the man being left by himself. Maybe it would have been wiser to leave Code Zero on B. Code Zero, very good player, playing badly this game admittedly, but perhaps it would be a good idea to leave Cold on his own. And faze will lose this round. Olaf picks up Hunter, but the round's basically over, gets an AK, falls back. Not an AK, it was Galil, threw it on the ground, picked up the M4 again, and it will be probably a successful save if I remember correctly. Yep, should be. And you see here, Olaf again drops the M4 to play a FAMAS. He's considered sort of in the hierarchical structure of faze clan. He is the bottom rung here, so he's below Rain, below Cold, below Brokey. Maybe he has more faith in himself with some of the worst weapons, but it's worth noting that he's not a support player. He doesn't play supportively. He's very rarely throwing flashes and smokes for his teammates, but he's being supportive in terms of the weapons he chooses, and supportive as in he's always taking the worst spots. But I think it would be better for faze to have someone who understands the more supportive grenade elements, and also someone who's... Well, Olaf is a star player really. A star player in a supportive player's role. Hopefully you can find a team that will really give him a chance to be himself. As this will be a round for G2, I believe. Yep. Oh no, it's actually a faze clan round, so this is actually a worse turnaround than I remember. As we get into round 20 after the timeout, this is going to be a round where G2 go B. I'm not going to tell you the score, but I'm sure you can guess. So this round Olaf is going to get an M4. It's going to be Nico picking up a FAMAS. It's kind of weird the weapons decisions on faze. Nico of course the in-game leader. And Olaf is going to be playing short here, a change up. Cold Zero is playing apartments. I don't understand this change up because the very last round G2 went mid, Cold Zero held mid perfectly. Why do you need to change it? So now he's going to be arriving, try and help Cold out, gets one kill, and then he chooses to try and fall back and play a retake. Maybe this was called, maybe this was his decision, but basically they group up again. Olaf gives up hold of the site. He could have easily held it there, I think, and maybe been able to kill the player he was fighting him. I believe it was Jax. He might have been able to kill Jax. The other two players with weak weapons, probably could have had that round. Instead he waits for his teammate. They do a failed retake, so G2 win the fight and the round, 6 rounds to them. As we slide forward then into round number 21, which is not what we're going to talk about. We're going to have to wait another 8 minutes for what we're going to talk about. Not the most fun time, is it? Okay, so we're going to have... And this starts 5 rounds in a row where G2 don't go B. Admittedly, that round they didn't go anywhere, they just held mid and phase rushed them. Round 23. G2 try to go B, change their mind, go underpass, take A successfully. Both the A players die, free sight, bomb planted. Olof tries to rotate in, gives up. G2 win the round. Okay, round 24. This is one where I want to talk about Olof, even though he wasn't playing the apartments. He's actually started playing AWP now, but I feel this is an unnecessary change up because I'm sure you guys have just been watching. Olof hasn't been losing B. B has been lost 1 time throughout this half so far. Do they really need to bring out an AWP to hold AWPs? I don't really know if that. I don't think they need to make that change. I think maybe it would be a wiser change to change your mid setup. If you're going to play double AWP, fine. I'm not against the double AWP as a setup. You've got some great players. Nico, really good player. Cold has done a bit of AWPing in the past, so you could have one of them getting an AWP. I don't think having Olaf AWPing apps is really a good idea. And you see Olaf and Cold both holding apps, mid being given up. They're isolated from A. Maybe Olaf could have hit a rotate around back to the back of jungle instead of just sitting here. He's basically, they've separated into an A defense and a B defense. And that's what's going to cost them, as it is going to be an A hit from G2 and an A win from G2 as well. Gets 1 pick onto Kenny. This is still a Lurk player though, it doesn't mean anything. Will be G2 round. Okay, here we go then. G2 are going to be hitting B this round. It's going to be a real round where Olaf loses. I feel like it's important for me to show it, just for the sake of argument. It will have it on 2 times speed. So basically Olaf playing apps with the AWP. Should he still have the AWP? I'm surprised he didn't drop it, considering how things have been panning out so far. Nico maybe having confidence in his digging. Brokey playing CZ because he's playing towards A. This is round 25. I don't know why I'm showing you this. It's round 26. I got mixed up. Sorry about that. So here we go. Round 26. Help with an M4. My notes said Olaf with an M4 gets caught in rotation. I was like, okay. How's he done that if he has an AWP? Okay. So here we go then. Olaf going to be holding apartments, just peeking it, simple. And then let's see what happens. He is here. I've not got the numbers wrong, have I? Oh dear. Sorry about this. It's going to be the next round. Typo from me. Save from faze. Things are starting to get a bit painfully close now, but as you can see, Olaf's not dying. It's not Olaf's problem. He's died 4 times since the start of this half. And we're 12 rounds in. Yeah, I saved a few, but I don't feel it is his fault a lot of the time. He's not done much, but from what I've seen of this game, it's not. I don't feel like it's an Olaf problem. So again, bomb towards A. I'm pretty sure it rotates this round. Olaf, I have it written down that he's holding aggressive apartments, and this leads him to being unable to help Cold Zara towards bench. And I feel they lose B more easily when Olaf is opening compared to rifling. I think his rifling is a lot better than his opening. So C, he's playing aggressive here, and faze are going to get hit by a short push from G2. faze playing 3 men A, they've been losing A smart enough. 2 kills, Olaf rotating. His position unable to have Cold, so he dies and he's basically stuck in the market here. Bad timing on that shot. Smart play from G2, making the sound cues down and up at the same time. Catches Olaf out, and he will basically not really have much to say in this round. faze, a little bit of over rotation. This ends up being what cost them, but it's understandable over rotation considering how weak their A hold has been. Olaf unable to clutch, and Brokey unable to clutch as well. He'll force to be run back and saving. or attempt to, as Amanek does pick him. So round 27 then. Very little to say about this one as well. So we're going to keep sliding forwards. Oops, forgot to find the demo UI. Past the R mark in the demo. You will all be delighted to know. So Olaf opening apps. Managed to pick up the final kill on the Jacks. Not a round I really feel. He did a good job, but not one I feel I have much to say about. So after the pause, we've got another nice Olaf round. This round is going to be a B hit. He's got an MP9. He's dropped Brokey the ult phase, which basically heads their bets here. I know they won last round, but they realise their money is so weak, so if they fully invest into this one, they won't have good weaponry. And the round afterwards, they'll also not have good weaponry, so they decided to eco despite winning, and then force fully in the next round, round 30, to try and stay in the game. So this is a round where faze lose B, but it's worth pointing out that Olaf is not B when they lose it, so he's holding the kitchen window. It's just going to be Brokey there, he's going to get caught out. Olaf trying to flank. I think this is a good try from Olaf. He is going to be pushing behind. He spends a little bit more time than maybe he needed to clearing things out. But the thing is that he's not actually B that round, but they've not displaced him off B really. He's had basically almost a flawless hold at B so far. There was that one round where he was caught out Cold's area, but I think that was maybe the call, drawing away from kitchen, than really his own personal fault. So here we go then, round 30. Last round of the half, and one that I've not got much to say about. So we're going to talk quickly. We're going to speed through this. They just go A, I believe. Yeah, nothing to say with Olaf here. He's just going to be forcing basically an unwinnable clutch. Not unwinnable, but he's not going to win it. 3v2. So overall, I would say Olaf perfect at holding apps with the M4. Sorry. Why does he need the op? He's not doing anything with it. He didn't have any impact with the op really. He got some kills with it. He didn't really die with it, admittedly, but he really wasn't doing that much. I think they should just kept him on the M4. Of the 3 times faze lost B, there was only one Olaf was actually there holding the site. So I don't think it's really massively Olaf's problem that they've lost his half. It's definitely not his problem that they've lost his half. It's mainly their A and mid hold that's really fallen apart. So I think putting any blame on Olofmeister here is really totally unwarranted. He had a very good half, slightly better than the last half, 13-7. A lot of saves, keep those death statistics down, but they weren't really deaths he would have deserved, considering it was A that was being lost, not B. And so I just find it funny mentioning earlier about Amanek and the necessary double up on G2, how the casters kept ragging on, oh, Amanek has an op, does he need an op, is he good enough with an op? Whereas on faze clan they were putting Olaf on the op, and it was having less impact. I know he was dying a lot less than Amanek. Amanek was just getting wrecked, but Olaf really wasn't doing much for me. It wasn't scratching my itch at all. So here we go then into the overtime, first half. And just for the sake of argument, I believe this is going to be the only good round from Olofmeister's up. We're just waiting for the tech pause to come through. Because I want to show you both sides of the argument. I know I'm arguing that he isn't as bad a player as people make out, but this is... I know his head of ulting wasn't good, but this is a good round from him. So holding BFs with the up, there is one player underpass, that's going to be Hunter. Cold Zero takes it aggressively with him. Maybe, I think, roles reversed, that would have been better. Cold takes the up, Olaf with the M4. It might have worked a bit better, you know, having Olaf up short. So, Cold with the initial pick. Olaf then start holding short. Can he find a kill? Can he find a kill? Falls back a little bit. Kenny pushing up. So it's going to be a 3-man short play here. 1-man apartments, the 1-man apps counter from earlier. So Olaf picks up Kenny S there. Nice high shot. Brokey finds Jax from towards A. And then Olaf finds a second kill here, which wins his team the round. Basically, he's going to find Hunter in the apartments. Help his old buddy Cold out. Cold fully flashes his teammate there. That was a bit unnecessary. I don't know why Cold needed to do that. He's got Olaf with him. Cold said he's low and Olaf picks up the final kill. Admittedly, Brookie did assist from A there. Cold did a very good job as well. They got very good positions and it was overall a poor round from G2. But it was just worth pointing out that was a round where they all did very well. If he had an M4 he doesn't get that kill. But this is a round where Olaf did a bad thing. Did a bad thing. This is a bad round from Olaf. Bad Olaf. Bad. This is one where he pushes underpass with the AWP and I just don't see the need. I don't see what's... Last round you had a great B hold. Why do you need to push underpass? Why? I just don't get it. So this round they are going B. Obviously hindsight 2020, if he pushes apps here and wins them the round, that's bad. He dies to Nexa. Nexa's always going to win that fight. They lose B. Cold Zero all by himself when he gets one kill before he dies. And it's worth pointing out this is the very last round where G2 go B. So here we go then, T-side. Oh, not T-side, sorry, one more round, but this is an irrelevant round. Olaf goes B, throws some utility, faze, have a big fight mid. Go A, Olaf left, 5v2, doesn't do anything, dies, Brookie, 5v1, doesn't do anything, dies. Gets one kill, fair enough, Brookie. Very good player. So here we go, this is good. I like this. Olofmeister, playing entry on B. Yes, faze. Good faze. Do this more often. It works really well for them. Olaf has some very good rounds towards the end of the half. So Olaf playing entry. There's only one man here, admittedly. That's Amanek. Olaf does a decent job on the way in. Does find Amanek towards the kitchen. Jumps up. This 50 fight. He lost it earlier in the game. Wins it this round though. And so takes a very iffy position. Not one I'm a massive fan of. I suppose it's a necessary one. Tries to take the kill, doesn't get it. It ends up being a lost round for faze. Not really his problem. Did get a good entry, fair enough. And so that was Olaf's chance to shine. Surely he won't get another one again. Oh, brilliant! The very next round we got Olofmeister. Do some B entries along faze. This is what you need to do more of, faze clan. This is what you did need to do more of. He's gone now. Missed your chance. So, pushing in again, it's Amanek alone. Again, G2 not learning their lessons. Well, did they need to learn lessons? They did win last round, admittedly. Olaf here alone, Amanek getting burnt. Not as good of a round from, well, equally as good. He got one kill, but didn't really do as much. Again, Olaf playing entry is good for faze clan, I feel. Hopefully, maybe when he joins a new team, he could play as an entry fragger, perhaps. I think he's good at it. I think he has the skills for it. He is a smart guy. Maybe he wants to try being smart, be a lurker. I don't know if that's really what's best for him. He wins faze clan this round. And I've only got one little last point to make about Olaf in this map. And it's quite a while until we get to another 8 minutes, but just want to say, really, the reason that faze won this map, Olaf 33 kills was, I think, top fragging. He's not the reason they won this map, realistically. It's worth pointing out that Cold Zera was 2 and 7. He's now up 20 and 24. Cold stepped up, and Brookie was amazing the whole way through. Olaf did win his team a few good rounds, though, and he didn't cost his team a single round, I would feel, other than the underpass push round. So I feel like he's sort of not hurting his team, but he's not helping as much as he could. I think if he really gets given a few more opportunities, I really think on his new team, perhaps, or maybe he never plays again. I'm not one to say, but I think really Olaf has a lot of potential. I'm not going to say he can go back to where he was in 2015. That's a little bit unreasonable, but I think he could really play really well and get a really good last few years of his career out of him. That being said, this is going to be a poor round, poor decision from Olaf. It's worth just waiting for the tech pause. Have it on 1000%. I'm not going to bother with the buttons because the buttons just make my computer lag so much. So it's going to be a one round from faze, bomb blowing up. Okay, here we go, here we go. Olofmeister holding the B apartments. This is, yeah, this round says a lot about, I think, where Olofmeister's head is at. It's sort of kind of like what happened with Jack's play earlier on in the game. So he gets tagged through the wall by, I think it was an up. Not certain, might have been, I'm not sure if it was Kenny's up or just Hunter's M4A1. Probably not Hunter's M4A1. So here he goes, perfect push. He's lurked his way in perfectly. Kenny S presents himself to him. Will present himself to him in a second. Slightly too ahead of the gun. So Olof, free kill. He has a free kill on the Kenny S and he doesn't get it, and that's, I think, one of the cruxes of the problem is Olof's aim just isn't where it should be sometimes, especially when he's lurking. When he's taking fights, it's normally okay, but whenever he's getting these opportunities, he almost loses confidence in himself at a crucial moment. I think it really costs faze sometimes. Didn't cost them rounds this game. Maybe cost them this one. He lost the early fight. But I think if he could sort it out, he could win his team so many rounds, so much more easily than he currently does. So that's going to be all for this map. I'm going to jump straight into the next one then. Okay then, here we are, back in the server. This is going to be the consolidation final between G2 and faze, same map of Mirage. This one about 3 weeks later. This is a game that faze clan and Olofmeister lose, and it's another one we're going to pick apart now quickly. Okay, so let's get right into it. Just going to skip through the pre-game warm-up. Map 1, this 2, faze did win this. If they won this map, they would have been in the final against Astralis. Instead, G2 ended up winning and did basically nothing in the final. 3-0, not very close at all. Okay, so here we go into the pistol round. It's going to be an A, execute. Olofmeister throws a really good flash into CT. This is not that one. He does it again. But the flash idea is generally quite good. But if you look here, there's actually 4 players from G2 and CT. So this is a really good play by Olofmeister. Oh, the retro stall. It's a good idea, but it doesn't work purely based on the fact that G2 haven't really stacked. He hits a good shot on Kenny S, but I just want to keep this running just because he hits a really good shot on the Kenny. Not on the Kenny, on the Nexus. See that thing? He jumps up in the air and dinks him. That's pretty amazing. He ends up dying. They end up losing the round. Not massively important. And I have very little to say throughout most of the rest of the early rounds. faze ended up losing a lot of them, money being very poor. Didn't really have much say in their first gun round. Oh, they won that round, sorry. I think they lose this one though. So Olof basically going underpass, doing very little. That round he ends up pushing towards A, dying. He played B here with Colzera. Being left hold it, doesn't really do much. Ends up pushing in the end, dying to Amanek. And Yanko crashed, so we're going to have a pause. Bleed a little bit more time through. Just another round from Olof. He's on a full eco, gets nailed down to 16 HP. Nothing really you can do in that round. Gets shot by Kenny. So again, he's going to be underpass, not doing anything. Colzera playing apartments. Colzera has always been the main man ups here. They managed to get out onto B. Not good from Olofmeister. There was no one there to contest him. But this is a winnable round from faze. They have the man advantage, G2 with the save. And then we'll get into the next round. It's the first round I really want to talk about. Okay, so this round is different from Olofmeister as he's been migrated to A while Nico takes the apartments. Olof hasn't been bad. Last round they took B easily. Not anything to do with Olof, there was no one there. But he's been switched out with Nico. Nico's actually currently in apps, which is going to be a call probably by the IGL, which is Nico. So he's just been migrated to A for seemingly no reason. I mean, the game's still very early on. Nico's not really been, he couldn't have had a chance to do badly even at A. So Olof here is at A. Very likely gets anything, very unlikely does anything here. It's not really what he's used to. This is Nico being the IGL. He gets to make the calls and he decides where Olof is. And Nico is a fragger as well. So Nico's often acting with Nico's best intentions in his mind. So he's putting himself in positions where he thinks he'll do a good job and not necessarily what he thinks will be best for the team. And basically I think Olof should be playing B apartments more aggressively. I think that's where he was good. He's playing supportive positions, but he's not a supportive player. The only time really I've had anything to mention about Olof in a supportive sense was that round where he threw the flashes into CT on the pistol. Other than that, very little to say. So I think he would be good if he was playing a bit more of an aggressive entry style role. And if he was playing first in, setting up Nico and Cold, I think would be good. And we'll illustrate that in the very next round after face clean this one fairly easily. Good execute. Olaf finds an opening as a Jax walk into, I believe it was. Okay, so we have Olaf second in behind Rain. Picks up a good kill on the Hunter. Dies the Molotov. Nothing you'd have done there. But I really think that's good. He has potential as an entry marker. I know he wasn't entering there, but he kind of was in the way because Rain's already passed him, so he's taking the first fights. I think Olaf, if he was playing in front of either Cold Zero or Nico, I think he'd have a really much better time throughout this game, throughout games in general. And it's very rarely that he doesn't find the opening pick whenever he's pushed in first. Not very rarely. He does get it about 60% of the time, which is above average, and even then you're an entry fragger. It's decent rate of return indeed. Setting him up, just for the sake of argument, to show both sides of the coin. Here is Olofmeister going B apartments to try and take an entry. Doesn't work out at all, but then this is a weird round from FaZe Clan, because then they go B apps despite their losing their B apps player early and taking no control. As we can see, Nexus pushed up. So this ends up being a late B round from FaZe. So maybe I was trying to consider, like, was this just a poor call from FaZe that Olaf wasn't aware of? Did Olaf play it wrong? Was he told, oh, we're going to push the B, so he shouldn't have played aggressive? Or it just doesn't seem like a good idea. This is the only time their B aggression does fail, though. It succeeds all other 3 times that he does attempt it. Skip on ahead again. It's going to be a buy round from FaZe, and a bit of a nothing round from Olofmeister, I believe. On it. Alright, you know, this is a round worth. Right, this is weird. Not now, we're gonna have to wait until the moment. Basically, right, look at the mini map, try and follow the situation. So Cold is gonna try and play a flank here. Bomb is on the site in FaZe control. Hunter's working his way around the backlines. Jax and Kenny are in kitchen. And so Jax I think is going to pick up a smoke. Or someone is going to smoke kitchen, basically. Oh no, he smokes kitchen. Yeah, he smokes right. And Jax starts to spam it. So Olaf sits here and then he just stands, like, exposed for no real reason. Like, you should fully commit to moving towards kitchen window. Try and help Cold Zero out, or you should stay in the corner. There's no point, like, sort of stepping, like, because then you just get spammed by Jax. This is what happens. It just doesn't. It's very poor play from him, I feel. Just felt that was worth pointing out. Okay, a few minutes to skip on then. A couple of rounds, fully go. Should be an easy one for G2. And slightly laboured, but they do get it anyway. Okay, this is a round where Olaf is going to be playing B entry, and I think his teammate set him up fairly well. So here we go then. Some rather utility from Olaf, smokes himself off. This allows him to get out nice and well. It's a smart play by him. He's in a good position to find a kill here. So here comes the entry. 2 flashes out, help him get out. Need 2 more, quick succession as G2 turn back. So Amanek kills Cold. Good trade from Olaf. Picks up the bomb, plants it for them. Eventually. But basically his entry here is very good. Cold did cut in front of him and he sat back a bit, but I think he still did overall a good job. And he gets the bomb down here. I think he basically won plays the round with his good double kill here. Maybe even could have had a triple kill. But no, that wasn't going to happen because of something vaguely strange. Okay, so Nico takes a shot towards Kenny. Oh dear. Team killed by his old buddy Nico. That's a shame. But overall, good round from him. Skim forward again a few rounds. A round, I think, actually. Just one. Olofmeister loses 2v1. Pause from FaZe. Coming out of this pause then. This is a run that I want to point out. Nothing to Olofmeister. I just feel like this is a poor round from faze and a strange sort of smoke setup. Maybe this is my inexperience showing. I don't really understand the scene as well. But they do a weird sight smoke. Oh, they don't do the weird sight smoke. Okay, it makes more sense now. That is a smoke from CT player. Okay, because I was wondering, because Olof's planting in the wrong spot then. So, yeah. Maybe Olof being a bit impatient trying to get the bomb down there. Maybe he should have waited for his teammates to try and swing the jungle players, take that part of control, and then try and get the bomb down. Because this plant spot basically screws faze over. So this was actually a misplay by Olaf. I'll own up to that. I'm willing to admit that, even though I do feel he does have mistakes in him, but I'd say every player on faze has mistakes in him, except maybe Nico when he's going off. Should be a free round. Free of anything I have to say. Penultimate round and a half. I think this one goes the way of G2. Not certain. Yeah, decent time from Olaf. Mollied, 23 HP, dies. Okay, last round and a half. Last thing I have to say for T-side. This is a round where faze, they've realised what's working for them, and they're going to hit a B push. Olaf flashing mid, helps Nico find a... Sorry, didn't help Nico find a kill, Nico found a kill at A. This is a round where I feel G2 have a... faze have a good B hit. Again, Olofmeister clearing under. So he finds the opening onto Amanek. So where he pushes in and they take B side successfully. They did a very good job of taking B throughout this whole half. Maybe they should have done it a bit more. There was that one round where they got wrecked. Olaf at the second kill. Round is 1, Hunter left. Jack's left, 1v5, not going to happen. Basically, I want to summarise this half. I feel that Olofmeister's T-side was actually better this game than it was the last game, considering the score. Forgetting the score 9-6 versus 11-4 in favour of faze. Faze overall did play worse. He played 2 rounds on B, whereas Pushes basically won his team the round. So he's won 2 out of 6. He's won a third of faze's rounds, and he's a fifth of the team, so it's really good. Again, his underpass plays had basically no impact. That's something that's fairly standard, I felt, throughout watching his play. And he made a few small misplays, including that round Jax towards Kitchen, and then that round where he planted the bomb in a place that basically lost faze the round. So if you count it, he won his team 2 rounds, lost his team 1 round. Okay, let's go. Second half then. Olofmeister going to be playing B again. Let's get into this. G2 go B 4 times throughout this half. This is not one of those rounds. This ends up being not a great faze half. Though this is a very good Olofmeister round. Of course it's eco, so it doesn't really matter that much. But feel good, you know, may as well just show it. It's a nice 3k with the MP9, very good. Well done, Olaf. Dies to Hunter, aggressive. Did he really need to go find that last kill? Probably not. Yep, so this is another round where G2 go B, but this is because Olofmeister's trying to trade codes there on short, doesn't work out for him. They end up losing the round. So they're currently 1-on-1 on B. 1 win, 1 loss, although the money was worse for them that round than it was for G2. So basically it's sort of an even state because the team with the better buys won B both times. Let's go then, round number 19, a round where they don't go B. This is a round where I feel Olof's aggression is quite unnecessary, because if you watch here, Nico will get a pick at mid. Go for it, Nico. Go, Nico, go. Yeah, Nico finds Jax and then Olaf peeks. Does he need to peek then? They find the opening kill, he can just fall back. He doesn't need... I know it was very tight and it would have been quite quick reactions for him to notice, but I think that was a mistake on his behalf and almost cost faze the round. It doesn't, but it almost did. In the end, G2, they rotate their bomb sites, they go towards A. And they just about win the round, only Rain surviving. Rain had a much better game this game, I felt, than the other one I watched. He's not playing amazing, but he wasn't nearly as poor. Round number 20, another G2B round then. It's going to be Olofmeister, the only person on the bomb site here. Totally isolated. He has got coldzera in ladder room, but Cold's really focused on mid and he's not focused on B. They don't think it'll be a B hit, which is a mistake, as we'll soon see. It's a 3-man stack towards A. They're trying to learn from the last game where they were losing A lot, but then that's also leaving Olofmeister isolated, which means this game his B hold isn't as strong, but he gets a really good double kill here. And I think this should be enough for faze to win the round. It's 2 versus 4. He is still alone. The rotation isn't there, but he's done a good job. Amonek's still on attack 9. We'll probably pick up the FAMAS. And he does. And faze actually loses 3v2. So they do lose this round, but I would say that's not Olofmeister's fault at all. He's got a good double kill. It's faze's positions ends up losing them the round. Maybe they should have tried and diagnosed that it wasn't A faster. So Olaf so far has he had 1 per round on B. But overall, he's been playing pretty decently. Not amazing, not terrible. 11-9, the score still could be a faze game. Interesting seeing the Force, Deagle Force saving a little bit of money. They're pretty broke. It's going to be an A hit. Olaf going to be trying to flank. Yeah, they've got Nico and Palace. G2 haven't diagnosed that, but it should still be a round for G2, and it is. Okay, so Nico dies and they just give up. Brokey and Cold tough guns. So Olaf's going to try and find one, doesn't. Round is over, and this is a weird one where we have Olofmeister on A. Why is he on A? Because of the pistols, probably, but sure. I think having the AK on A makes so much more sense than having a Deagle on A. A's a lot harder to hold than B. They've got a Deagle and a USP on A. They're trying to gamble on it being B. Maybe they're trying to anti-strat or something, but I really don't think this is a good idea. And this is a stupid run, but Olaf just gets spammed through a smoke and can't really do anything about it. Bit of an annoying one for him. As we get into round number 23, a round I have little to say about. Olaf playing aggressive mid, there's no one mid, tries to flank A. By the time he gets there, he picks up the final kill, but it doesn't really matter. And we're getting to my final piece of note for this video. And it's going to be this round where Olofmeister is playing short. Assisting Brokey. coldzera dies, and he really Olaf's in a bad position here. And he should probably be towards the B side. Double stacking ladder room. Don't think it's a very good idea in this instance. And so look how isolated Olofmeister is. He's basically written out of this round. Not a good idea, I feel, in a round that G2 end up winning as a result. That's going to be that for this game, so I'm just going to get into my final thoughts then. Right about now. Okay, having gone through that demo then, I want to just discuss my final thoughts before I leave you and I'll reach my conclusion. So basically, I feel that Olaf is playing in supportive spots, even though he's not a supportive player. From what I've seen, Olaf rarely throws very good flashes for his team, very good pieces of utility just to try and help them out. But he is just sitting underpass, not really helping his team much. He's sort of thrown in the spots just to make sure that G2 don't push, or whoever it is don't push. He's just sitting in that position just to try and fill a hole, basically, even if he doesn't really suit him. I feel like overall he did win his team more rounds than he cost him. Basically with his B aggression was quite good. I enjoyed whenever he did that. Sometimes his B hold also was very strong. A couple of good double kills, especially in that overtime in the first game, the one they won. I feel like being second in on the entry does not suit him. I think in terms of trading pairs, I think he should be the first pair. Because I think his aim is very good, and I think he can get the kills. It's just, he's not very good at trading, what I felt, and sometimes he didn't really get the options to trade that I think he would benefit a lot from. He needs to stop playing underground. It just isn't working. He didn't find a single kill across both the games I found. Rarely got any good map control out of it. He's basically just sitting there, walked up it, walked down it. Phase went there, he ran up connector and died. Phase went B, he went back up and did apps, and maybe it worked well for him. I think a bit more apps aggression would suit him if I want him always playing apps. I know he's not on the team anymore, but he's Code Zero. No, you're not playing apps, Code Zero. Olof's fault. Give him some sort of... He's a star player. Give him some sort of identity in terms of the map. He's not really... He's just basically, I play B unless Cold wants to go B. Like one round Nico went B. I just go wherever Cold and Nico don't want me to go. That's like an IGL or support player call. He's not a support player though. He's a star player in a team where he's basically kicked to third or fourth in the pecking order. Rain probably the only player below him. Even though stats sometimes would suggest that Olof is weaker than Rain. But then that's playstyle and all affects that as well. Behold, generally good. Better towards the site than it was towards short. I don't think he's brilliant towards short. I wasn't really impressed that much by what I saw. Cold was doing generally quite a good job there. And what now? I think Olof needs to find a new team where he's going to be given rope, in a sense. Given opportunities that he can play more as a star player. Maybe not necessarily the star player, second star, maybe help him get his level back up a bit. But I think the team really needs to just take a gamble on him, because he's not a bad player. I didn't see anything that would really suggest to me that he was really awful. Maybe I watched games where he was better than average, but he wasn't anywhere near as bad as I felt he was being made out to be generally in the media. But I suppose he was sort of holding FaZe back in a sense of, if you replaced him with a more supportive player, their results would have gotten better. If you replaced him with an IGL, perfect. Is it Olof's fault that he was playing badly? I would also say no to that. Is it good that he's off the team now? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure what this new guy's like. I've never heard of him. I don't think anyone has outside of the FPL circles. But I hope Olof gets well soon. Hopefully keeps in the game. Doesn't switch to Valorant. That would make me cry. And I'd like to say lastly, turn to you, the audience. Thank you all for watching me rant about Olofmeister for an obscene amount of time. Not looking forward to editing this together. And I might do this sort of thing again, hopefully. I know my knowledge isn't great, but I want to learn. I think doing this sort of content helps me learn how to analyse the game a bit better. Hope you enjoyed. Please leave a comment. Any feedback, always appreciated. Even if it's bad, just don't tell me to off myself. And until the next one, see you around.